Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Before we begin tonight's show, I just wanted to say a couple of things about memory, because this afternoon after the show somebody said, why are you doing it? Why are you doing a show about memory? And I was trying to remember.
So that was a kind of mashup of Complicité's work that they've done. And so we talk about Simon McBurney and his company Complicité. So Simon McBurney, he's like multi-talented. He's an actor, a director and a writer. And he acts for both the stage and film. He was actually the voice of Creature in Harry Potter. He's also been in films such as The Last King of Scotland, The Duchess and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. He directed for the TV series of National Theatre Live. He directed the piece A Disappearing Number, and he also helped to write the film Mr. Bean's Holiday. His stage work is extensive and includes all of Complicité's work. In the early 80s, he studied at l'École Lecoq, which is Jacques Lecoq's School of Mime in Paris. Whilst he was there, he met director Annabel Arden and actors Marcello Magni and Fiona Gordon. The four created a theatre company called Theatre de Complicité, which translated from French means theatre of partnership. And partnership is really big for the company. Like, they are very much working together as one. And it's not like a sole person who's involved in things. They're a company, they work together, they eat, drink, sleep together. But they're really big on like being one person, one group. And then Theatre de Complicité was shortened to Complicité, which is how it's now known. Four disbanded, which I'm actually unable to find the exact year. I cannot find it in any of my research. But from my research, I believe that Fiona Gordon left early on. She was only involved in the first production that they did. And then Arden and Magni left to pursue their solo careers, but they're still involved with Complicité. Arden teaches, as well as directs pieces of work, and Magni is involved in the productions, the performing and things. After the four disbanded, Simon McBurney was named the sole artistic director, which he still is today. And although he's the sole artistic director, he's not your typical kind of director. He's not a dictator. He doesn't kind of say, stand here, do this, move over there, and then say this. He's more of a facilitator. He guides the company in like creating their work, and he empowers them. Like, then, as a point, like the work that they create is devised. It's devised as a group, and then unless the piece of work that they're writing is based on a written text, then the writers of the performance is noted as the company Complicité, not the sole person, because all of them are included in the devising process. So the style of work that they do is predominantly physical theatre, which stems from the work from Lecoq, and then Simon McBurney uses many of like Lecoq's techniques in the starting process and throughout the processes of his performances. A favourite of his is Lecoq's 7 levels of tension, which is probably one of Lecoq's most well-known exercises. And it helps in order to create tension in the thing, and it helps in order to create a character and how this character should be presented, as well as seeing how this scene should be presented, whether it should be a high intensity or whether it should be a low, kind of calm, relaxed pace. So the aim of McBurney and Complicité is to create pieces of theatre that are not currently seen on today's stage. The influences, as well as Lecoq, are that he's really influenced by other cultures and who other cultures like. The history of other cultures and things, like particularly in their starting text. Like, as you kind of saw in the mashup, there was people from a Japanese background, people from an Indian background, and there was also people from like European backgrounds and stuff. And a lot of his starting texts are based on foreign stories, or foreign pieces of music, or foreign legends and things. And as quoted in Murray and Keith's Physical Theatre's A Critical Introduction, McBurney says, "We always begin with a text, but that text can take many forms. I mean, it can equally well be a visual text, a text of action, a musical one, as well as the more conventional one involving plot and characters."
Although McBurney says this about text, that he always uses them, works from it, all the different ranges of text, he tends to avoid all the classical kind of text, because as Rosie said, he enjoys producing theatre that has never been seen before, that can provoke a reaction, and he feels that classical texts have been too overdone, that they've been done in all these different ways, and he chooses texts that, especially from different cultures, that haven't been yet brought to the stage. Complicité and Simon McBurney's work, they are all striving to engage the audience much more than a lot of other companies can. They've said before that they believe the audience is the heart of the theatre rather than the directors, the actors, everyone who produces it, and they want the audience to leave the theatre feeling like they've had an experience rather than they've actually seen a show. So on a